Let me tell you a story. Let me write you a symphony. We'll speak so sincerely, build a dream so honey sweet. Feel the heartbeats together. We rise like stars in the sky.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. When I was planning on sharing the song in today's video, I will be honest, I was a little apprehensive precisely because of the current situation and everything that's been going on in my country for the past few days. Let me tell you a little about the song. I wrote the song a few months ago, and it wasn't until much recently that I shared the lyrics of it on one of my private social media pages. So when this channel was still an idea, it was one of the very first videos that I had scheduled to make. However, I didn't see the protests coming, and I was a bit afraid that maybe it wasn't the right time for such a song, and I was considering scrapping my plan to post the song and maybe going with something else. The date of the protest and this launch overlapped, and I was wondering, should I post a song that seems largely patriotic amidst this chaos? I wouldn't want to in any way undermine the very salient things that the protests are hoping to address. I wondered why these two events would be occurring so close to each other. It felt like bad timing. It seemed like the song and the protest were opposed to each other, and I wondered whether it would be insensitive to release the song at this time. Should I throw away plans months in the making? What should I do? Then I realized that perhaps things were always meant to happen this way. Perhaps the timing was indeed right. We're fighting for a lot of things that the song reveals that we have the potential for. That is the goal of these protests. I don't think it's intended to be destructive. People only shout because they feel that when they whispered or talked in a more normal tone, they weren't heard. It's sad that things had to get to this point. I know that nobody wants to leave their house, stand under the blazing sun or in the rain, potentially risking their lives if it wasn't important enough to do so. Someone said, "We're all fighting for freedom, but who said freedom was free?" So I hope that in sharing the song, it will be a voice of hope for us. A song that looks at how much we've been able to accomplish with so little. What would happen? What would be our capacity? What would be our potential if we were given just a little bit more of what we deserved? It is okay that the giant is tired of being treated and fed like an ant, but that giant must be reminded that it is indeed a giant, regardless of its treatment. We are called the giants of Africa, and we want to be treated that way. We want to live out that title. That's what's needed. That's what we're demanding. Being a Nigerian can be such a mixed bag, a mix of pride and annoyance, because most times it's a frustrating experience. Other times, the Super Eagles work their wonders. We go to the Olympics and win some medals, and then we're proud and hopeful again. I'm sure any citizen of most countries can dish out their own complaints. No country has mastered a perfect system. There are protests going on all around the world. But we're not asking for a perfect system. What we are asking for is one that works, and hopefully one that works for us. We cannot keep accepting what is below even the bare minimum. What makes our situation particularly hard is that we have such boundless potential. It is acknowledged that Nigerians the world over are a force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, we're not allowed to do much with that potential. We are not saying that there won't be problems, but the issue is that there are so many. We can look at our system today and almost no sector is thriving. Someone said recently the private sector is doing very well, thriving, and I suppose so. But what about electricity? What about infrastructure? What about jobs? What about the price of things in the market? What about agriculture? We're importing more food than we're exporting. We import basic things. We're importing things like toothpicks. Our farmers are not properly encouraged. What about our palm trees? What's happening there? What about economics? The Naira is at an all-time low. What about trade? What about commerce? What about the maritime sector? What about engineering? We have so many graduates, but if we want to build roads, we're going to have a foreign company do that. What about the health sector? They are constantly on the verge of going on strike. Our doctors are underpaid. What about education? ASU is constantly going on strike. Sometimes I think they use it as an opportunity for a sabbatical or a holiday, but it's constant. We're used to it. If you go through school and are able to run your 4-year program or more at a stretch, we call that a miracle. What about the real estate sector? Houses cost so much. The price of housing keeps going up. Buying a house is a big deal everywhere in the world, yes, but it is nearly impossible to do it as a civil servant. The average Nigerian cannot buy a house. What about the banking sector? We hear stories of layoffs. I could say the entertainment sector is doing quite well, but even they are struggling. Entertainment is such a big deal that it sort of has to do well because of how big it is. But still, our actors and actresses have to rely on side hustles in order to fund their lifestyles. Another sector that probably is trying is the technology sector. Perhaps it's doing well because the world basically runs on data. It is a secondary natural resource at this point. But still, how many of our software engineers and data analysts are employed? How many of them are earning well enough to survive on it as a full-time job? And when we're done with the sectors, let's talk about the roads. Let's talk about salaries. Let's talk about the costs of goods and services. Transportation costs are going through the roof. Food prices are astronomical. Unemployment? Getting a job is a reason to give a testimony at your place of worship. What about electricity? We're so used to having an epileptic supply that when the light stays all day, you're surprised. You're wondering whether the guy at the NEPA office has fallen asleep at his desk. Let's talk about our police officers. Yes, they are notorious for taking bribes, but so many of them are underpaid, and they're constantly risking their lives for a country that if they die in service, legitimate service, they and their families will be forgotten. What about our military? They constantly have to work at keeping at bay destructive elements like the Boko Haram terrorist group. But if they die in active service, there's no plan made for their families to be taken care of in their absence. So why would they put in their best? Of course, you serve your country because you want to, you chose to, but it's also important to know that your country will in turn serve you and thank you for your service. What about politics? What about terrorism? What about corruption? The list goes on and on and on. Forgive me, I digress. I wrote this song as sort of a tribute to all the things we are blessed with and have gotten right, in spite of all that is wrong. I believe that my country is worth fighting for. It's just the system that needs to change, but that does not take away from the fact that the core of who we are is absolutely inspiring. It's sad that there is an inspirational side and then there is a disappointing side to the Nigerian experience. But like I said in the beginning, it's a mixed bag. The strength, the resilience, the can-do, never back down African spirit deserves its praise and recognition. And that was why I wrote the song. No governmental failure can tarnish that truth. No amount of ugliness can take away from that beauty. That is the heart behind the song.
Nigeria's vibrant heart.
It came about because I wanted to reaffirm my hopes for this country. Seeing how much we have to power through and still manage to be outstanding, I thought that was song-worthy. It can sometimes be a hard country to live in, yes, but this was not a hard song to write. The strength of the Nigerian spirit is remarkable, and the fact that Nigerians still manage to smile despite all that we suffered is indeed a God-given grace and gift. That ability to tower despite the odds, that unbreakable spirit, is all that this song celebrates. And so I found out that the song wasn't opposed to what was going on. It actually aligns with it. It points towards the future. So with this new perspective, here is the song. I hope you enjoy it. I titled it The Nigerian Triumph because I believe that no matter what we're going through at the moment, we will triumph over it as we always have and will continue to do.
Nigeria's vibrant heart, the city of Lagos hums. The dreams ascend like well-beat drums. There's almost nothing that can't be made in Abba. The gifted creations will make you say Haba. Have you ever been to the capital, to our ABJ? It's the life of the nation's party, our ruling DJ. History's echoes still touch Benin's ancient art. Foreign museums hold puzzle pieces of its heart. Chimamanda and Soyinka mastered words. They've written stories that have struck chords. Kuti's pioneering and Afrobeat's majestic ride have forever turned this global culture's tide. How our music pulses from high life to hip-hop hits. Afro rhythm reigns, crowded the king of beats. And drama-rich tales, weaving narratives of varying hues and scales. We're world champions on many football stages, producing mathematical geniuses of all ages. A nation rich in nature's supply of oil, gas, and gold. Still our people are the greatest resources we hold. Nigerian diaspora long for their homeland dear. No matter how far, they know their place is here. Nigeria's green and white is more than flag colors. It's the path of wealth and peace we hope our land follows. Through challenges faced, resilience has grown. Much like our anchor, unity is like a fabric we've sewn. From independence dawn to our modern height, Ninja's story is that darkness gives way to light. Rise Nigeria, patriots.
If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you. If you didn't skip a portion of the video, thank you more. And if you have or would consider liking, commenting, sharing this video with a friend, or subscribing, then I couldn't thank you enough. Every interaction or feedback is very motivating and highly appreciated. I have some great story ideas and other videos in the works, so do stay tuned. Please check out the next video in this playlist or peruse the channel to find something else to watch. Remember, stay sincere and synonymous with all things marvelous. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, remember to shine. I'll close out this video with a hybrid of bye and hi, bye, which means bye for now till we say hi in the next one.